Welcome to Ear Biscuits, the podcast where two lifelong friends talk about life for a long time. I'm Link.
And I'm Rhett. This week at the round table of dim lighting, we'd like to start with a story. We had something happen to us that we think would be worth communicating to all of you.
Oh my gosh. We had something, you had something happen to you and I was there for it, is my perspective. And whatever glory we can get from this celebrity encounter, I'm all for it.
Okay.
This is the
best.
top,
this
man.
is the best one so far for me. I mean,
just tell the story.
Okay, so we attended South by Southwest Festival.
Mm-hmm.
It takes place in Austin, Texas every year. It's film, it's music, it's TV, it's panels and podcasts. If you're us,
It's comedy.
It's a little bit of everything. It's the place to be.
Mm-hmm.
If you're us. So we were there for just a couple of days, mostly doing, like I said, panels and podcasts about how people should care about what we do on YouTube.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time talking about why people should care about what we do.
Yeah, because somebody has to.
Right, yeah. You got to be your own advocate.
Right.
You got to advocate for yourself, as I tell my kids.
Right. It applies in healthcare, and it also applies in entertainment if you're an entertainer. Now, we did have a near miss with Elmo, and I might want to unpack that too.
Yeah, I would love to talk about that.
But we'll do that second.
So we are...
'Cause I'm a bit afraid of the ramifications of my actions there. I'm feeling a sense of regret.
Well, I will say that, and we'll talk about that. That's building.
Yes.
There's some stuff building for you. So,
oh, crap.
we are in the lobby of the hotel where we were staying.
It was the Proper. Shout out to the Proper.
I'm always a fan of the Proper. It's a shout out to
Kelly
Wursler. Kelly Wursler. I don't know if you're a fan.
Thank you for decorating the Proper with all of your seats that are so fun to sit in.
We are
sometimes
such a
hard to
fan.
get out of.
Now, I will say, I'm a huge fan of yours. I was introduced to you by my wife, who is also an interior designer, and she's
better than you.
She really, no, she's not. She really loves your work, and we love to stay at Proper hotels.
Santa Monica Proper is me and Christy's. That's one of our go-to spots. That's where we saw the rich bitches years ago. Remember?
We took a whole trip just to San Francisco, my wife and I, just to stay there, just because she likes it so much.
And so the one in Austin,
I'm going to out-proper you.
Oh yeah. You can try. I've been to the one downtown a couple of times too.
So we were there. We were in the lobby getting ready to do something, in a conversation with some other people that we were with.
It was a bustling lobby. We were right at the front.
There's a lot going on, and I see one Pedro Pascal come out of the elevator with a group of people, and
I did not see this.
And I'm not usually the guy who will say something to someone. If someone wants to say something to me, then okay. But as he passes,
like I said, I did not see him
behind us and directly behind me, just as he is passing behind us, I hear in the voice of Pedro Pascal, "Oh, I love that guy." Now, when I first heard this, I'm not, I'm only a little narcissistic. I'm not a lot narcissistic. I'm just enough narcissistic.
Sometimes a little goes a long way.
To be a YouTuber who will advocate for himself on panels at South by Southwest.
There you go.
And so I didn't immediately think this was directed at me or you. There's many people in the lobby. I just happened to hear it as he passed by. Secretly hoped he was talking about me. But he just goes out the door. He, seconds later, comes back in the door, comes directly up to yours truly, extends his hand. And in the moment that he extends his hand, he sees that you are also there. And he says, "Oh, I love you guys. Okay? Guys." And then he said...
And that was the moment that I saw him for the first time. I was like, well, crap, here's Rhett meeting Pedro Pascal. I'm only putting my hand out. He did shake it.
And then he said, "I'm late to the party, but I just wanted you to know that I'm into what you do," something like that. And then I think I said, "Thank you, Pedro." And of course, he was in a hurry. He was in a hurry, and then he walked out.
Now, my version of this story is I'm just having a conversation in the lobby with Rhett and somebody else. And then all of a sudden I look up and Rhett's shaking hands with Pedro Pascal. So I get in on that action. I didn't hear him say any of the stuff that he said. But then you told me, he said, I'm late to the party. But then my understanding is right after he said, I'm late to the party, then he left because I think he was just late for a party. I don't think he was like late to the Mythical party where he was the last person to find out about us.
Okay,
But I would certainly love to believe that.
No, okay, listen, here's how I took it. And I'm taking this to my grave until Pedro tells me otherwise. He was like, I'm late to the party, which meant, I know you guys have been doing this for a long time, but I recently just found out, and I'm late to the party, but I like what you do.
As opposed to, I'm rushing to a party, but I went out of my way to come back in and say hello to you.
It was like 10:30 a.m.
Which is still good, by the way.
Who parties at 10:30 a.m.?
Pedro Pascal,
I mean, maybe it was a panel. You have some fuzz on the left side of your face. You got it.
Okay, well, thank you for that. The other thing is, I think that he only knew you because he saw a TikTok come across his feed.
I'm looking this up.
Where it was a clip of GMM, I think, where
I'm looking it up.
You were talking about, I mean, we can cut to a clip of it, but the best I can remember.
Look at it right now.
You were talking about how Pedro is a good looking man. Maybe good enough to make, if you were gay I don't know if you were insinuating something like that. You're basically saying, I'm a straight man, but that Pedro Pascal, something?
Oh, I know what it is. He doesn't like you because of this.
I mean, yeah, I just hadn't really thought about it. Yeah, right. Yeah.
What?
Okay, well, look at me.
Pedro's hot. You don't think so?
Yeah.
You don't think Pedro Pascal's hot? Is that what you're about to put on the internet?
Yeah. I'm attracted to a sense of humor.
Oh. Were you looking at the same person?
Is that what I said? I mean, yeah, I just hadn't really thought about it, but.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I just, I didn't want to be gay baited.
What? Listen,
wasn't that the point?
I'm not gay.
You weren't asking, was he attractive? You were asking, was he hot? Hot means I am attracted to Pedro Pascal.
No, if I say
I am not attracted to Pedro Pascal.
If I say a man is attractive, that means that I recognize
I thought you said he was hot, not attractive.
Okay, hot, whatever.
There's a difference in my mind. Yes, Pedro Pascal is attractive, but he's not hot.
Okay, if a woman,
listen, you put me on the spot.
If I met Pedro Pascal, he left, a woman came up and was like, who are you just talking to? Oh, a man named Pedro. And she was like, was he hot? I would be like, yes. Because what she's asking is, would I think he was hot? And so I'm like, yes. Does that mean that I want to have sex with him? No. I'm not gay.
To me, that's what attractive is. That's when I use the word attractive. I reserve the word hot for somebody that I want to get hot with. That's just what hot means to me.
The long and short of
did you say hot? You did say hot. I hope you did, because my whole argument is hinging on that.
You've embarrassed yourself on the internet in front of Pedro.
I love Pedro Pascal.
Hey, Pedro's hot.
I say hot.
Yeah. I said Pedro's hot. I'll say it again. Pedro's hot. I said it again.
And you know what I'll say? Pedro is attractive. He's an attractive man. Okay,
well, you said you were attracted to his personality. And I'm also attracted to his personality now that I've met him. He loves me.
and this is why I didn't think he knew who I was, but now I'm finding out.
He just doesn't like you. He knows who you are.
He probably doesn't. He's not attracted to me.
Pedro, if you're watching, I love you too. And I hope that this blossoms into a wonderful friendship. And you don't have to be friends with both of us. A lot of people assume that, but Link prides himself on being friends with people that are not friends with me. It is like a point of pride, okay? So
I don't even know why you would say that.
It's
true, but I don't know why you would knew it.
Well, because when you talk about it and you say things like my friends,
yeah, I didn't know.
You put emphasis on my.
I didn't know you picked up on
Everybody notices it.
Yeah.
So, Pedro,
it's true. I just didn't know it.
If you want to be my friend, I've got openings, and not that kind of opening. You know what I'm saying?
Pedro, I was delighted to see you because you are an amazing person. whether you're good looking or not, and you are, is beside the point. You're an amazing person that I think does awesome work, and
I think all that too.
it's more than skin deep for me.
You're implying that it's only skin deep for me?
Well, that's all you talked about.
I am an incredible fan of his body of work, not just his body. Okay?
Right, and I'm a fan of your body of work, and I respect your body.
Yeah. I can tell that you work out your body. But I'm mostly a fan of your body of work.
I'm a fan of your fashion sense.
He's an icon.
I'm a fan of your...
Now you seem desperate.
No, I'm just being honest. I'm not...
Well, I mean, I think we should stop talking about it now.
I'm just a fan of your, just the way that you are you, and you seem to be a very kind person.
Very kind. I will say that.
I like that.
I was very happy with the
fact
way he
that
was
you
so
went
kind.
out of your way to come back in to tell Rhett that whatever you said to him that I didn't hear.
I love you, is what he said.
And then that you also shook my hand and gave me a gentle look was more than I could ever have asked for. So I'm sorry if I've given you the impression that there's anything negative. There's nothing negative in my mind or heart or soul about you. It's all positive. But it's not sexual.
Okay.
And I'm sure you're fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're fine with that. You literally went out of your way.
Yeah. I think we've cleared it up.
And our egos needed that. I think you knew that Rhett's did a little bit more. Yeah. And you were late for a party.
Yeah, and we immediately took the story, I will say, because this is a great segue into the next story. We were being interviewed, and I don't know if this interview has come out. I think that they probably chose not to release it based on Link's behavior, but we'll talk about that in one moment. We were being interviewed by the South by Southwest studio. And
is that who it was?
And they called it the studio interview. And they asked the question, when did you know that you had made it question? Phrased slightly differently than that, I can't remember. And I said, well, actually, it was just within the past hour or so when Pedro Pascal
Went out of his way to talk to you.
Now, here's the thing.
That's when you knew you made it, and that's not false.
If you're another celebrity out there who happens to occasionally watch what we do and you're watching this, I just want you to know that we typically don't just divulge every celebrity encounter. I feel bad for Pedro at this. He is regretting saying anything to either one of us at this point.
We've blown
because I've
any
talked about
chance
it
at
so many
friendship.
times. He's never going to be our friend now. Yeah. He's like, listen, those guys?
We made it transactional.
I once went up to them, and it was the only thing they would talk about after that.
And they made an entire podcast about it.
Well, the whole podcast is not going to be about Pedro.
Well, we ain't done.
No, you're right about that.
Something tells me that you're going to keep going back to it.
But
I'm going to hear this story forever.
Also, before we finish the interview story, okay, no, can I tell the Leon? I'm going to tell the. Okay. I'll book in with the Leon Bridges story. We'll come back to Leon. Let's finish the interview story because we have something for Leon Bridges too.
I need to hear. We have not talked about this interview.
Yeah,
and
you seem to be like you didn't understand what was happening.
The regret is growing, but I also still am confused.
I don't really understand. So
I'll explain how I was confused after you explain what actually happened.
There is a phenomenon that happens with you that I think it would be good for you to hear from another person, and that is you're often present for a conversation where details are being shared, and everyone, including me, assumes that you are hearing and processing the details, but then
I'm not.
Moments later, it is revealed that you were definitely not listening.
Do you know why?
Probably because you have ADHD, but it's cool.
No, it's because people tell us so much stuff, and most of it isn't actionable. I'm just being real. We're going to do an interview. They're going to ask you questions about yourself. You're going to have to talk about yourself again. I'm like, okay, we're doing another one of those. Now, there was something different about this interview that I did hear.
Yeah, and that was that it was going to be with the Cookie Monster and Elmo.
That's all I needed to hear. We're going to be interviewed by Elmo and Cookie Monster. We've met Cookie Monster, never met Elmo. I'm excited about this.
I was also excited about it, but then...
And that's all I need to hear.
But then, and the weird part is your story doesn't really add up to me because
Okay.
the guy that we were with who was escorting us to the interview, as we were getting ready to leave, he said Elmo had a scheduling conflict, which that alone is a confusing thing to me because how does a puppet have a scheduling conflict?
Well, Muppet. Right, say Muppet.
How does a Muppet have a scheduling conflict? Like, what was he doing at that moment?
I would be answering your question, but I don't have one.
Okay. Well, anyway, so Elmo had a scheduling conflict.
And Cookie Monster apparently didn't want to do it solo.
Right. And you said in that moment, so let's just not go. And
Yeah.
they were like, well, no, we're still going to go. It'll just be the studio interview.
Okay, yeah. Meaning an interview in a studio is what I thought.
Yeah, but
We're still going to go to the studio where Elmo was going to be interviewing you and you're just going to do the interview.
See, I understood what they meant by that.
No, I didn't.
The South by Southwest studio. It was like, it's a thing. They have a YouTube channel, whatever, you know.
Never heard of it.
So we show up at this place and you were confused by what?
Well,
Well, what you told me was that you thought that the woman who interviewed us
was with Sesame Street.
was with Sesame Street.
That's right, because she was dressed in overalls,
Colorful overalls.
colorful overalls with patches all over them.
And I just thought she was just a fun-loving character.
I would have cast her in Sesame Street in a second.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't have changed anything about her wardrobe.
It all came down to the fact that she had on wonderful
No,
overalls.
no. I assumed that we were being interviewed by someone off camera, and then they were going to superimpose Elmo or Cookie Monster asking the questions.
Okay, well that's weird.
Nobody told me that.
And then when you realized that
assumed that.
wasn't happening, you answered the first question of the interview basically expressing your disgust that Elmo and Cookie Monster were not present. And then the whole interview was
I decided
just
to
about...
take an honest approach.
Yeah, which I think it's going to be weird for that interview out of context.
Like
to
I
be
said,
all about
the
Elmo.
regret is growing. I'm not defending my choice. I'm going to share my choice, and I'm not defending it. Matter of fact, I'm putting it out there to be pummeled. I think that my regret's only going to grow because the first question was not a question that will be in children's programming, and by the way, right before the overall lady who wasn't on camera, because Elmo was going to be on camera, I said before we get into the interview, I do have a question, because she was like, okay, first question. I was like, wait. What is this rated? Is this G-rated? Remember when I asked that?
Uh-huh.
So did that make you feel weird? Did that give you an indication that we weren't on the same page? When I've never before asked, excuse me, interviewer, is this G-rated?
We haven't been on the same page for quite some time.
And then she was like...
We've been in a different book for a few years.
She in her overalls was like, no, you can say anything you want. And I'm thinking, okay. So they're going to bleep me on Sesame Street if I say something?
Yeah.
If I give like if I say a naughty
you thought
word?
that the whole studio
That-
was a Sesame Street thing?
Yes! And it didn't add up in my mind.
It didn't make sense when we got there and there was nothing Sesame about it besides the woman's overalls, which technically weren't. It was just a woman in overalls. And the
They
backdrop...
had playful patches all over.
The backdrop for the interview was a South by logo.
Well, I was facing the other way.
Well, I saw it when I walked in. I don't know how much of the interview is going to be usable because there was a lot of references to that.
Yeah, she would. I mean, I think I can't. My first answer, I don't remember what the question was, but my first answer was something like, "Oh, yeah." When they said, "How do you know you made it?" and I said, "It was when I almost was interviewed by Elmo."
Oh, yeah, right. So again, I don't know just out of context if that's going to work.
But the cameraman laughed.
Oh, everyone was entertained.
Everyone laughed at that joke.
Yeah.
But then when I continued to answer the questions in a way that made clear that I was disappointed that I wasn't talking to Elmo, I think I became a bit of a bitch.
Oh, just a little bit.
But Stevie was in the other room, and she was laughing, and I'm sorry, but she was in the other room laughing, and I am trained to, if I've made Stevie laugh, which isn't easy to do, If I made Stevie laugh, I got to keep going.
And I will say,
And she wasn't laughing a little bit. She was laughing a lot.
It added the fact that you were wearing a pinky ring didn't. Because now here's the thing, I did not see your pinky ring until that interview, and you were being a complete ass about Elmo. But I was laughing a lot. I mean, I had a very good time.
I feel like my face is turning red.
And I saw
my face turning red.
You brought your hand up to your face, and I was like, he's got on a pinky ring right now. I was like,
can't say that on Sesame Street.
This. You didn't
notice I had on a pinky ring?
This is not helping. I know we got the stylist who helped us.
It was the stylist idea.
Yeah,
for me
I know. I had multiple rings that were given to me that I was going to wear at a different time. And there was probably one that would have made it on my pinky. I'm just saying, in that moment when you were talking about that, like, with your, like, slightly tinted glasses on and your pinky ring, talking about how you wish Elmo was there, I was like, what have we become?
I'm embarrassed. I never wanted to be that person.
Well, you were at that point, but it was very entertaining. It was. I mean, you succeeded in being. That's your job. You know, your job is to be now.
And plus, these interviews, I don't like talking about us so much.
But we get asked the same questions over and over again. I agree. I agree.
I'm just trying to make it interesting.
We ended up having fun with it.
The panels.
We ended up having fun with it.
The panels. You know, I'm just trying to have fun, but not take up too much space.
Like, how many different ways can you say that what's happening on YouTube is important? You know.
Right. How many ways can you say that you're disappointed that you wanted to meet Elmo, and the whole reason you're there is because they promised. They said, come be interviewed by Elmo. Then you show up and he's not there?
Well, we were told on the way that he wasn't going to be there. The other thing
I need more time to process. I need 48 hours to deal with the disappointment of not meeting Elmo.
The other thing that happened back in the hotel lobby.
So hold on, before we go back to that.
Day.
So I do appreciate the fact that you never said one peep about my pinky ring.
I almost said it in the moment in the interview.
That would have been okay.
I was just like, you're wearing a pinky ring right now. I didn't see it.
And we never had this discussion until right now. So, because it just
was it that it just fit on the pinky?
No.
Or you were like, I do want it on the pinky.
Actually, she said, what about a pinky ring?
Oh,
and I've always secretly wanted to try a pinky ring.
Yeah, I would just say
it seemed Pascalish.
Yeah. I would just say maybe don't do the pinky ring and ascot at the same time.
I wasn't doing an ascot.
No, I'm saying, but like I saw that you had like a bandana that might be tied on the neck at some point.
I don't think I could have done that.
And I was just like, I would do one or the other.
Oh, yeah, she also gave me
just as your friend, not as your stylist.
Yes, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there's a question later that relates to that, but
okay.
I think she gave me 2 chains.
Yeah.
And I was wearing the chains, and then I went to the bathroom and I looked at myself and I was like, you know what? And I remember I came back in. I don't know if you remember this, and
you had taken the chains off.
I told Stevie, I was like, help me get these chains off. I just can't.
Oh, really?
I can't do the chains.
Oh, I like chains.
I can't do chains. You can pull off chains. I can't pull off chains. Apparently.
Well, you pulled them off in the bathroom.
I got Stevie to help me pull them off.
Okay, can we tell the Leon Bridges story?
The pinky ring story. That I feel good. I can continue telling that story. I'm a pinky ring man.
Yeah. Okay, so we're back in the lobby.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna put this ring on the pinky.
We're back in the lobby of the Proper later, and we are waiting for our group to gather. And at that point, it was me and Link and Stevie, at least, standing there, basically right when you walk into the front door of the Proper.
It was the best place to stand if you wanted to see people entering.
And in walks Leon Bridges. Incredible musician. He likes to wear these like onesies that are like really cool, and he had one on, and he had his guitar in his hand, and he had his lady at his side.
And he's walking right towards us before he makes a 90-degree turn to the check-in station.
And as he gets close to us, Link says, Mr. Bridges.
There wasn't a lot of time to calculate what I should say. It was very quick because I knew he was about to turn, and well, I love Leon Bridges. I love his sense of style too.
Yep.
I mean, those are two. two style icons in the same lobby for me.
What we realized in the moment is that when you said Mr. Bridges, when someone like Leon Bridges walks into a hotel and a man, I mean, it was just the way you were standing and the jacket that you had on that.
Might have been this jacket.
No, it was the leather jacket.
Oh, it was the leather one. Okay.
We were like, and at the proper, you definitely seemed like you worked at the hotel. And you definitely seemed like you were welcoming, Mr. Bridges, we always love when you come here. You know, it's like, welcome back, Mr. Bridges. Anything I can do for you?
I didn't. Yeah. I do feel like if I would have reached for his guitar, he would have handed it to me.
Oh, yeah. He would have given you all his luggage.
Yeah. I could have Leon Bridges' guitar right now.
You could.
I could have all of his clothes and his girlfriend's clothes or whoever he was with.
Yeah.
It was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I think Leon next time.
Well, I didn't. I
just think
next time, Leon, because I've met him now.
You can.
I wasn't on a first name basis with Leon Bridges.
You can call a musician, an act. You can call anyone in the entertainment industry their first name, and it's not disrespectful. You can't do that with, like an officer of, like somebody who's,
Well, in my split-second calculation of how to greet Leon Bridges,
you went with Mr. Bridges.
I was like, I didn't know. I hesitated on Leon, and then I was like, you know what? A good fallback is Mr. Last Name. So that's what I did.
Right.
And plus, I think the way that Stevie said it was like, the way that you said it was as if you were the only one there that would recognize him. Which... Yeah, I guess
I will say
that's true, too.
it was slightly better than when you saw John Mayer and you said, "John, I love you," as he walked away. But you didn't say, "Mr. Mayer, I love you." I
was trying to say, "I love your work," but he walked away in the middle of your, and it became "yo."
I love you.
I love you.
Hey, man, listen, I'm glad. Anytime there's a celebrity around and you're around, I know it's going to be entertaining, so I appreciate it.
The bald guy from Barry.
Anthony Kerrigan.
Yeah, I went up and after I checked in, I turned around and he was there, and I just immediately talked to him. I was like, "Hey, do you have a movie premiering here?" And that was good. That was the first celebrity interaction at South by, and I felt like it was good because he smiled, he responded, and we talked about it. He said, "Yeah, I'm premiering. I'm in the movie. Something about."
Dead unicorn or last unicorn, something about, there's
last unicorn.
There's something about finding a dead unicorn, I think.
Yeah, it's like.
Seems great.
Yeah, it's like they found the last unicorn, but it was dead, is what I think it is. But he also mentioned with A24, and I was like, can't go wrong with A24.
That was good. That was good, Link. That shows your industry, like, expertise.
Right. Yeah, because you can't, right?
It's it's less likely that you'll go wrong with A24.
Maybe that's what I should have said. Less likely that things will go wrong with A24.
Right, yeah. I
was like, I'd love to see it, but he was like, what are you here for? What about you or whatever? And then I was able to kind of, tell him what we do. It was good. It was a little moment we had.
Okay.
And it gave me confidence that then I squandered on every other interaction I had the entire 2-day weekend. We threw our own party.
We did.
YouTube threw the party, and we hosted it. A lot of creators and brands come together to mingle in this cool speakeasy called the Powder Room, which highly recommend going to the Powder Room in Austin. Fun little spot. Josh created a mythical cookbook themed libation.
Skittle milk something.
And we gave a speech, which I could have done better. You did great.
Okay, I don't remember that.
The thing we do when we give speeches, when we have to give like speeches to a group, is that my buddy Rhett here, he'll think about it ahead of time. And then at a certain point, he'll come over to me and say, I've thought about this. I think this is what we should do. And I really appreciate that.
I was thinking that it's interesting. We have an interesting dynamic there, yeah. Like I put a little outline together. It's very simple, just like, how about you start, then I'd say this, and just very loose, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If I was an individual person, this would not be required. The only reason that I do that is because there's two of us. And it's just like, if there's two people, you kind of want to know, like, okay, well, I'm going to emphasize this, you emphasize this, or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
and since we were the hosts, we kind of need to seem a little put together, so.
Yeah. If I didn't do that, I actually thought about that while I was there. I was like, if I didn't approach Link at some point during the day and say, and by the way, you didn't have your phone.
Yeah, I'd left
your phone in the room.
Well, I left it in this jacket. I was wearing this jacket. It was too hot.
Because I was like, I
switched to the leather to the Leon Bridges jacket.
Oh.
The leather one. And then I didn't have my phone in it. So
because I texted you an outline. You're like, well, I don't have my phone.
I'm a little baby.
And so then I showed you the outline.
I know it feels like I'm a little baby.
Well, no,
sometimes.
but if I didn't do that, and here's the thing, it probably would.
I just don't think
it probably would be fine. It would probably be fine, but maybe it wouldn't be fine.
That's true.
If
fun
I
of it.
never said anything to you,
Yeah.
would you never say anything to me about it?
No, never.
You would never come up to me and be like, so what do you think we should say? You literally would never approach me to be like.
At this point in our career and relationship, no.
No. Because you know I'm going to.
Yes.
But if I didn't come to you with hey, here's a little outline, and it was like 10 minutes before, would you be like, hey, have you thought about this? Like, would you just literally wait until they gave us the microphones and be like, just see what happens?
Probably that, yeah.
That would be a disaster.
I don't think it would be a disaster.
I mean, it certainly could be. Because it wasn't tight, it was loose.
It was great.
It was loose, it went well. But we knew where we were going to take off. We knew what altitude we were going to fly at, and we knew how we were going to land. And that's the only thing that you got to know when you get in front of a group.
And I did craft a joke around it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had the part. Let's break it down. I was supposed to get everybody's attention.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good at that. I can do that.
Uh-huh.
But then I'm supposed to quickly, I'm just saying, I'm glad you're here, and then you're going to take over with something that you said that wasn't for me to say.
It was a story about what was happening in 2005, 20 years ago.
Which led to?
It was basically, we were making a movie the same year that YouTube was founded.
Oh, yeah.
And if you'd have told us that in 2025, we would have been at South by Southwest, we would have been like, we made it as filmmakers.
Right.
And you'd be like, no, it's that little website that just started, the one that you think is required for people who don't have their own website, youtube.com.
Yeah.
You're going to be at South by Southwest because of YouTube. It would have blown our minds. That was like the opening thing.
Yeah, and then I was supposed to tee up the fact that we've created an environment for creators to connect with each other, and then hand it off to you to say that we also create an environment for you to connect with brands.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I did craft a joke in the,
Oh, you did great.
Which was...
My question wasn't, was...
I'm going to tell my joke again.
Okay.
Let me tell my joke again.
Okay.
Crap, I'm not going to be able to tell it again. It's not going to be as funny here because I can't quite remember it, but it was something like, and back when we first started, creators didn't talk to each other. But now, unfortunately, I can't remember what it was. But now you have to do that or something. I can't remember.
Right.
It was funny. I like I said, I don't remember it because I don't need to. I'm never going to say it again. But when I said it, it worked. It was precarious, but it did work. Sometimes
it worked.
Didn't work just then, and I acknowledge that. And then you said your thing, but I thought that was pretty good. My whole point was, I can't remember my point, except that Josh, we handed it over to Josh, and he was behind the bar, and he gave this whole presentation about what this cocktail is that he invented that everybody's going to drink. And boy, he had them in the palm of his hand for like probably 8 minutes.
He was like a Cutco salesman selling something that people actually cared about.
Yeah. And I felt like a proud uncle.
Somebody actually got a picture of Josh doing his thing, and I'm in the background. I think maybe you're just out of the shot. And it was like, look at proud dad, Rhett. Proud dad, Rhett in the background looking at Josh.
We had a good time.
We did. It was a short. I would like to stay more. I would like to have more time, but we had to get back. We had to shoot some Wonder Hole. Oh, we had a good Wonder Hole week.
At this point, as of last night at 10 o'clock, we've shot half of season 2. We got it in the can. That will be 3 out of the 6 episodes.
Well, let's don't overpromise the 6. 6 is what we're going for. We're not 100% sure that's.
If it turns out to be 5,
it might be 5. There's some big question marks around one of the ideas right now.
Okay, that's fair.
But whether it's 5 or 6,
nothing I say is a promise.
I'm very excited about it. I feel I'm enthused.
Elmo's not in it so far. I will say that.
We're going to get to a question, but...
there's not much to say here. We got merch, exclusive T-shirts in Zoomies.
Yeah, the store, the actual store.
It's typically
usually in a mall. Yeah, at select. If you want to know where it is, and which Zoomies it's in, mythical.com/Zoomies. You just go there, and then you figure out
honored
if there's one close to you.
We are honored to be in Zoomies. Mythical. In Zoomies.
Woo! Let's hear a question.
This is Michaela from Virginia, and I am a young woman in construction. I was wondering if y'all had any tips on how to demand respect from my coworkers. Thanks for the help. Love y'all. Bye.
How to demand respect from presumably your male coworkers.
They're constructing stuff. They're wearing hard hats and orange fluorescent vests, and they're walking around with their steel-toed boots, and they're grunting, and they're pointing, and they're carrying boards and pipes and pulling on pulleys and stick-shifting dump trucks. And
doing a lot, as you can see. Here's a secret that you need to know about men. They're all just little boys.
Yeah, everything that I just mentioned is something that I would do in the dirt with my little toys as a kid. Move my little trucks and
they're all of us are just little boys. We grew up and we got big. Some of us got bigger than others, but we're still just little boys. Mm-hmm. And you can put us back into little boy mode so much more easily than you realize. It is so much easier to do than you have any idea. And what you just need to do is you just need to recognize your power. You've got it. You already have it. You just need to recognize and exercise. That's what you need to do.
Why are you doing this motion where your hands get flat in front of your torso and then you push out?
Because I'm holding 2 big boobs.
Oh.
No, I didn't. I wasn't doing that.
Are you ready to get more specific in how you can do that?
Well, I think it's going to be
grab them by the earlobe and drag them wherever you want them.
I just think that there may sometimes be, especially in that environment, a tendency for you to want to just
shrink,
be meek, and make yourself smaller. A lot of times, men make themselves real big. Women make themselves smaller. That tends to be culturally where things shake out in general. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to do that. And I think the thing is just like, a perfect example, if there's a man who's man-spreading, mm-hmm. and you're next to him, if you just man-spread back at him, the little boy will close his legs.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I know you don't need that much room in there.
I just.
A little soft dick joke. Well, I didn't mean it that way, but yeah, that way. A little dick joke will go a long way, and a long dick joke will also go.
Yeah, will go longer, actually.
Wow.
Specifics? That's for you to come up with.
I don't know. Well, that's one. Long dick joke, soft dick joke.
You know what I'm saying, though, right?
Dick joke. Yeah. Yes, I agree. You got.
It's inflated.
Hold your ground, and sometimes that's literally and physically space. Occupy your space vertically, and then like do the Apple exec talk foot spread.
Spread your foot.
A-frame those feet a little bit,
Not too far because you'll get too short.
Right.
Wear heels and do that.
Yeah, how else do you bring out the boy that's not when you don't want to come on so strong with, you don't want to come on with like insults.
No.
But you gotta, when they give it, when they dish it out, you gotta be able to dish it out
I'm not saying
back.
you're trying to be an asshole.
No.
And I'm just saying that you got to understand that.
I think a thick skin, I'm nervous giving this type of advice, but like, I think giving it back, whatever they're throwing at you, giving it back.
Yeah. You definitely don't. Here's the thing about little boys, is that little boys are really good at
Pretending to be bigger.
in sensing weakness, and also like they're little boys. Just like they find the weakness and they exploit it. And if it's showing that it's effective, they feel like they've won this game. But if it's like, oh, my little shit doesn't work,
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is an easy thing to do. I'm just saying it starts with, it's the whole thing about picturing everyone in the crowd naked when you're speaking to them. So even though I don't really think that works, but the idea is that you're trying to do this mental exercise to put yourself in a different place, realizing that this is just a little boy who literally looked at a truck and was like, I want to play with that forever. I'm just saying that's what, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying.
It might help you to, is there something on my lip?
We're all little boys. We were like,
It might help you to point that out.
we want to make movies forever. Like we're just doing little boy shit all the time. Most of us are building things, whatever it might be.
Jen is
Just a
not
bunch
here
of
today.
grown-up
but
little boys.
Jamie, I'll get your take on this. I mean, it's not a man's world. It's a woman's world, but I mean, it's not that you're working in.
No, I mean,
Maybe I'm wrong.
I've been in situations because like a lot, like in middle school and high school, I had like a largely like male friend group.
Okay.
So I was around a lot of guys, and I grew up with an older brother, things like that. So for me, it was more so I grew up with that. But my advice would be like, if you have any male family members, like little brothers or cousins or things like that, or you have male friends, like how would you react to them? Like kind
There
of
you
doing
go.
a little gentle ribbing or anything like that.
Yes.
You don't see those people as scary. So kind of do the same thing to your coworkers in a way that's like obviously not like blatantly rude, but look at them the same way. You shouldn't be scared of them. Like don't come in also too hot, I think. Like because sometimes women will come in and being like almost like
halter tops.
well, no, I mean like more not really conduct.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, good for construction.
Aggressive. Don't
yeah.
come in too aggressive.
Too aggressive because then they'll be like, oh, she's a bitch.
Yeah, then you become the bitch.
Yeah,
Right.
But it's like if you come in normal and then if they start to kind of give you some shit, then just kind of give it back a little bit. Pretend it's like your little brother and you're like, oh, you're not scary. It's fine.
I think this is great advice. I do think, I want to acknowledge it's unfortunate that you gotta work against some cultural tides, and sometimes and in some environments are stronger than others.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, you bring it at that construction site. Hard hat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tell somebody to put a hard hat on.
Yeah.
Let's hear another one.
Hey, Rhett Link, this is Ben again, calling you guys for like the 100th time. I just need some advice. So I am in a loving, committed relationship with my girlfriend, Samantha, 5 years. And just recently, probably 2 Christmases ago, we had a feud with my family, who she has met before, but also her family. So just to give some context, my mom is someone to, kind of deal with, I guess you can say, a little bit difficult, can be problematic. This is, again, the first time my family and her family were meeting. Ultimately, this whole thing blew up and created a big scene. She ended up leaving Christmas, taking gifts with her, not saying bye to the family. Ever since then, she's really had a real sour taste in my girlfriend's mouth, and I'm just trying to get her and everybody else to, get along. So appreciate any feedback or help or advice. Thanks. Love you guys. Bye.
Woo-wee.
I think this is an opportunity.
Mm.
The most famous love story of all time, Romeo and Juliet. It was the Montagues and what's the other family?
I haven't.
Oh, come on. I mean,
don't remember.
yeah, I'm the only one who can remember one half of it.
Oh man.
Montagues and the
Montagues.
Montagues.
Yeah, who is it?
Hold on, I'm fine. It's
We don't know.
the Capulets.
The Capulets.
Oh yeah, the Capulets. I knew that.
Or is it the Capulets? You know what I mean. They were from Feuding Families.
Mm-hmm.
And what it did is it created
How did it end?
an electric romance. Don't think about the end. Don't think about the end. Just think about the here and now.
Your mama is a problem,
I just think
she's the problem. That's the tough. That's the good thing. At least you're not married to the problem. Let's start there.
yeah, okay.
You know, you came from the problem, but you see the problem and you don't live with it anymore. So you got to support your wife, but you also got to love your mama no matter what, right? Well, not no matter every
all
single.
right,
Who knows?
No,
but-
you got to love your mom. You got to love your mom, but, and I don't think that he's talking about doing this, by the way. It didn't sound like, I didn't hear this, but let's just talk about this little thing that happens, right?
taking the present.
No, I'm saying that it is very common where if you're getting to know a guy, if you're a woman and you're getting to know a guy, or any gender,
Okay.
if they seem to value their relationship with their parents, and a lot of times the dynamic is it is a guy and his mom more than your relationship with them, get the out.
Whoa, that's
Get
strong.
out.
Those are
No,
strong
no,
words.
I'm just saying, get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. If he places his mother above you, get out. I'm just saying.
but
That doesn't mean you. It's
Our
a
guy's
different
not
kind of
doing
thing.
that. But
I'm
that's
just
the good
saying
news.
it's a little aside. That happens all the time, and it's super toxic. It's just super toxic. I'm not going to elaborate on that. Look into it. So anyway,
I wonder what
back
that
to
Christmas gift was.
back to the situation at hand.
That she never got.
It isn't your job. This is another thing. It's not your job to force the two families to get along.
Oh yeah. Well, the families part is easy. If that's part of the question, like
It's not your responsibility.
families don't need to. They don't need to. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I don't know. You can't control who your mom is. You can only control how you as a couple interact with her. And you put some boundaries in place, and maybe you have some quality mom time where your partner's not there, not around, and then you don't allow that to impact your relationship with your partner. And you put some boundaries in place, and you just get super practical about it, knowing that you can't make somebody change. You can try to reach out. You can have an opening salvo. Maybe she'll soften over time or wise up or whatever she needs to do. But that's her work to do. And you just gotta gotta make it work as well as you can. You gotta work with what you got. So I just say you get very practical. Good luck. I'm sorry.
Good luck. That's all. That was good advice.
Good luck with that.
Hello, Rhett Link. My name is Parker, and I'm here to ask if Rhett is aware of the RhettDancing Instagram page, where it just reposts a video of Rhett dancing every single day to different songs. Also,
He gets cut off there.
Oh,
So
oh,
he
also-
hung up himself.
Wow. We'll never
he
know.
Decided he didn't want to share that last
Also,
part. I was not
aware.
aware of this until today.
What is it?
It is
The same video, different music.
a different song alongside me dancing. And is that dance from the real world tape? Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is college dorm footage,
No, this is college apartment.
college apartment footage.
When I'm very flexible, limber, quick,
There's
lean.
so much material came out of that. Well,
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah,
glad
yeah.
I unearthed that. Good God, that was some of my best archaeological work.
And this is really my-
It's like the cackle laugh, like the maniacal laugh thing that you did. We got a lot of mileage out of that.
Well,
The
the
I'm
thing
a
is
virgin
I don't.
thing,
The reason I
got a
don't
lot of
mind
mileage.
this.
I'm still listing things.
Okay.
The I'm a virgin thing got a lot of mileage out of that.
Yeah. Well,
And now this just shirtless is the shirtless dancing.
well, you're not going to embarrass me with this because out of all of the things that I did and said in that video, this is the one that I would have wanted the world to see. As I was saying,
Yeah, you can kind of see it on your face when
I
you were
was
dancing.
limber. I was lean.
That you were hoping this would
I was a machine.
And it's just a question
And
of
I'm doing
what
a
music
very
matches up
original
with it.
dance.
It
I'm doing a
matches up
very
with-
original dance. Well, the music is never. The two that I watched,
Like-
the BPM is not anywhere close. It's just like, let's just play a song and then Rhett's dancing to it.
It's like Careless Whisper or something.
It's irrespective of the dance, but
Okay.
they take requests and then they post it. I don't know how long it's been going on, but I scrolled down a little bit and it's been a while.
When is the moment that you realized you had arrived?
Well, at first I thought it was when Pedro Pascal came up and said, I love you. But now I realize it's when an Instagram account dedicated to a few fleeting moments of me dancing while I was in college was created.
Congratulations, man. I will say that I also saw a footage of me dancing very early in our career, and that's made its rounds too. But I don't have an entire
Oh, it's a whole
Instagram account.
a whole account?
Not a whole account.
Okay, right.
Nope, don't have that. Don't have that.
Okay, well,
Just one.
I'll tell you
one
what it
video.
feels like after a couple of months.
I also love that it has over 1,500 followers. It's not like a lot, but it kind of is a
It's gonna
lot
have
for
more
such.
What's the name of the account?
It's literally RhettDancing.
RhettDancing.
Rhett, no space, dancing.
Mm-hmm. There's
On Instagram.
185 posts.
Whoa.
185 different songs to the exact same piece of footage.
Mhm.
And that's my camera work. So I somehow I want a piece of that.
Mm.
I still have that camera.
Let's hear another one.
It's my footage.
The photographer technically does own the image.
Hey guys, it's Landon calling. And recently I've been interested in getting my motorcycle endorsement, but unfortunately my mom is not on the fence that I am on with it. And she is so against the idea of me getting my motorcycle endorsement that she has offered to buy me a brand new car. I've since declined, but I'm just curious what your guys' takes on it. Do you think motorcycles are safe enough for the majority of the public? Do you ever think about getting a motorcycle? Have you ever thought about getting a motorcycle? Maybe with your kids? I don't know. So take what you want with a grain of salt. Love you guys. Bye.
I think first we got to talk about this analogy in the fence.
Yeah,
so I think in your analogy,
He needs to be corrected.
I think in your analogy, you believe there are two fences,
and you're both on one.
and you pick a fence that you can be on. I mean, I'm not really. Maybe if you were here to explain it to me, Landon, I would understand. But typically, the fence is the barrier between two distinct choices.
Right. And if you're on the fence, it means you haven't decided.
You haven't decided.
But your mom is clearly on the don't get a motorcycle side of the fence.
Yeah. She's on the other side of the fence. Now,
And
if there's
she's trying
another,
to lure you over there with a new car,
maybe she's trying to lure him over there with another fence. It sounds like
But it's
because
sad.
she's got a little fence that she's on her side of the fence, and it's confused him, and now he thinks that he is on a fence as well.
you're not on a fence, homie.
Yeah, you're-
Especially if
yeah.
you have denied and declined the offer of the car. You were on the other side of the fence. You're on the motorcycle side of the fence.
And I will say that
Except you don't have a motorcycle.
knowing when you're on a fence and not on a fence is a key thing that you need to understand if you're going to start driving a motorcycle.
If you think you're on a fence,
And you're
we
not.
don't think you should have a motorcycle.
Yeah, right. You failed the test.
Yeah.
You failed the motorcycle
You-
test, so you
we-
need to get that car and accept it.
Yeah, and endorsement is a much better term than license for this because it's like we do not endorse you piloting a motorcycle.
Now
It's dangerous, dude.
We've had some motorcycle experience. Now Link was in the sidecar, and it was like a French motorcycle that like was something about it was backwards or Italian. I don't know what it was. It was for Buddy System.
Season 2.
It was an old motorcycle that would barely start.
It was dope looking.
First of all, the only way I could operate a motorcycle is if it did have a sidecar. So it would balance. It was like a 3-wheeler. And they would like get it started for me and then show me things. And
you couldn't start it because it was really hard to start.
Yeah.
So somebody would start it.
And I think top speed was like 24.
It was cool looking though. But they're dangerous on the open highways out here. I mean, you wouldn't believe what people do on motorcycles. It's legal to split lanes. If there's traffic going slow enough, you can go in between traffic, like on the dotted line. Not on the side. You have to be still in between cars. And it's just, that's scary. And sometimes people do it and you're going like faster than I think what the legal limit is.
It's supposed to be just like
20 or something?
Yeah. When I'm driving a car, I actually actively think about where my legs are and where my head is positioned because I think about how, like, I'm healthy right now, relatively. And my spine is doing pretty good. But, I have all kinds of shit that goes wrong with my body. And I'll turn the wrong way. And there's shit going on with my spine.
Yeah.
And I'm tall. And so my knee, a lot of times if I'm in like a rental car or something that's not quite big enough, my knee is kind of hitting the dash. And I think about that. Man, if I was in an accident right now, my femur would break. Maybe my hip would break. There are lots of things that would go wrong.
How dangerous is motorcycles, by the way?
And so I'm just thinking about that kind of thing even when I'm in a car. So the reason I don't drive a motorcycle, or is it right? You're technically driving it. If you're on the back holding on to somebody, you're riding.
They say you're riding, man. You're riding.
The reason I don't ride a motorcycle is just statistically, if there is a wreck, I am much more likely to be seriously injured. And so I'm just like, okay. Now, I think it's probably really, really fun. And some people are like, it's totally worth it. And I'm like, okay, that's for me.
If my kid wanted on a motorcycle, I would do everything in my power to dissuade it. Because this, like you said, statistics, what does the internet say?
Well, first of all, I just had to type in how dangerous are, and then motorcycles was the first thing that pops up. So that's searched a lot. It's in 2021 is the last statistics. So the fatality rate for motorcycles was 24 times the passenger car occupant fatality rate and 40 times the fatality rate for light truck occupant. So it's a lot more likely that if you get in a motorcycle accident, you will die than if you're in a regular car.
Because there ain't much to a motorcycle. Mm-mm. And there's the same amount to you.
Yeah.
So the ratio of you to cycle, it's pretty straightforward. And you can't see you, and you have to be very defensive. But like, if you really want a motorcycle, you don't really like the idea of defensive driving. Those things don't go together. So as much as you think you're gonna be safe and all this stuff about it, I'm suspicious.
I don't think people think they're gonna be safe. I don't think people do the math, because if they did the math, I just think that a lot of people, that's not how they live life.
I'm a risk taker, and if I was really into that type of thing, Ben, our director, he's been a motorcycle guy for years, but like
he doesn't drive it on the streets.
He's a very risk averse guy.
He takes it to a track and races it.
He takes it to a track and races it, and it's a very controlled environment.
Because if something goes wrong,
and he has fun.
If something goes wrong out there, it's his fault. If something goes, I just don't like putting my life in somebody else's hands to that degree.
You're developing a skill, and it's a hobby, but it's there. So maybe that's a route to take. And I do want you to think about it, because, another thing you can do is people will they'll travel in packs, in numbers. If you have a motorcycle buddy and you're riding together, I think that increases your visibility and your level of safety. And I'm sure there's a lot of other techniques to mitigate risk. But again, you got to be honest with yourself of like, how disciplined are you going to be at mitigating risk? I know the way that I work.
Oh, you would be a terror.
I could never.
You nearly gave Greg a heart attack when he just rode in the side of your dune buggy or whatever it was we did it when we went on that trip.
And
I was like, I'm not riding with Link under any circumstances.
I have a very tenuous relationship with risk. Like I just, I keep him at much more than arm's length. I don't like having interactions with him, so I just ignore him. But I know thyself, and myself doesn't have a motorcycle.
Right.
So we're saving lives today.
But I want to caveat all this, though.
Maybe just, I don't know.
It's your decision, obviously. It's not your mom's decision.
Please wear a helmet and body armor.
It's not your mom's decision.
Really cool body armor.
But yeah, don't. The thing that it's like the people who wear just the skull caps
or nothing.
Yeah, in
some
Florida,
states you don't have to. Yeah, South Carolina, you ain't got to wear nothing.
So I don't know, man.
Because it's your own. You're doing it to yourself.
Because they might be like, well, it's totally worth the fun that I can have, and what I'm thinking is, this is the way my brain works. If I'm doing something dangerous, it's difficult for me to have fun because I'm thinking about not getting hurt. And I'm thinking about if I get hurt doing this, it's really going to complicate things. And you know what it's going to do? For me, it's going to complicate the things that I want to do to have fun. Like you know what I like doing?
That's a good way to look at it.
I like doing this job. That's what I like doing.
Yeah.
I like creating things. And sometimes we'll take some risks. We went skydiving for Wonderhole. Like we'll take some calculated risk. It's not, but I'm doing it for the thing that I actually have fun doing it for. I mean, I'm thinking about not even skiing anymore, to be honest with you. I don't think I'm going to die skiing. People do. Sonny Bono did. Remember that?
Yeah. I just think you got to. Yeah,
But you hurt, like Jacob just hurt his knee.
You got to decide what you want out
and
of life.
He's been walking around on crutches for
where
2
motorcycle
months.
fits into that. If my kid really wanted a motorcycle, I would do everything to dissuade, but ultimately I can't control what they do. I would just try to empower safe decisions, but without being a buzzkill. I don't know. It would be hard, but like, okay, here's a little education, but you know what? I might have to get a motorcycle. And so I can always go there with.
Because you can't live. I mean, I don't know. I feel like
I think the flip
you
side.
You can't live life in fear because, okay, for instance, Locke travels a lot, and he wanted to go to Colombia, and some other family members were like, I can't believe you're going to let him go to Colombia, and I'm like, he's a 20-year-old kid. Like, I don't think it's like super unsafe now. It's not like what it used to be, and. So we don't live, I haven't taught my, Shepherd is on a one wheel. He's been
careening everywhere.
Thousands upon thousands of miles on a one wheel. And one wheels are notoriously dangerous. And he does wear his helmet. Sometimes he doesn't, but I insist on him. If I see him without his helmet, there's disciplinary action that is taken. But I don't say don't do it. He's a 16-year-old kid. He hasn't really fallen somehow in a way that's hurt him. But so I'm not saying that we don't let our kids do anything, but it's just when you get up to motorcycle speeds and you're on a road with other giant pieces of metal.
We're not going back to that.
I'm just saying you got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, but it's not your line to draw, and I think that's a good point. I respect the fact that like motorcycle enthusiasts they're a certain breed, and it's something that I'm not. So
it's part of the game.
I respect the fact that like it's a hobby that like some people would put at the top of their list, and you may be one of those people. So
we're just giving our perspective for why we don't do it.
So I think maybe I'm arriving at what I would do if it was one of my kids. I would I would appeal to their higher selves. Say, okay, it's not just about being a defensive motorcyclist. There's a higher calling than that. It's about being a skilled, proficient cyclist or whatever, rider. I don't know what it's called. Like
Biker?
You're gonna go, you can go and test your skills and get training and look at defensive driving as a personal challenge. Like to be the best motorcyclist you can be involves a level of safety as a form of craft.
I agree
So
with
it's
all
not
that.
about taking wild risks. It's about taking calculated risk because you're fully informed and you're aspiring to be a professional level motorcyclist, even on the road. Sometimes I think of myself like that in the car. It's like, I gotta be the best driver I can be. I gotta have the best technique. I'm gonna be the best defensive and offensive driver at the exact same time. I'm gonna be vigilant of every single thing. I'm not gonna be distracted. I'm gonna make informed decisions at all times, and people are gonna be like, ooh, look at that driver. He's awesome.
I've noticed this about your, you drive really fast. Not like necessarily too fast for the speed limit.
I've driven you in the past 3 days, and I've noticed that there's a lot of sounds that you're making.
Well, you've almost hit several things. But you drive, it's interesting for you to give me that perspective because when I drive, here's what I mean, I'm a good driver, but when I drive, I'm literally just thinking like, I have to do this. It is necessary for me. I have to be in this vehicle to get from home to work or work to home or wherever. And what am I going to do with this time? I'm going to think, I'm going to listen to this book or I'm going to listen to music. But it's not like I'm on a mission. When I see you drive, it's like, and sometimes we'll leave at the same time and I'll just see the things that you do. And I'm just like, he's so funny how he's driving like he's I can totally imagine the look on his face right now. He's trying so hard to do this exactly right. And he's listening to music. He's definitely not listening to something that's making him think about anything other than driving right now, right? And I'm like, it's the way that you drive a riding lawnmower where you're like, if you see Link on a riding lawnmower and it's like, he's got this look on his face like, I'm going to cut this grass as good as I possibly can. And nothing, there's no, your mind never wanders to anything else except the grass. It's actually remarkable.
That is exactly right. Now, here's the problem with
There's a hyper fixation.
You being in the car with me, here's the problem. You're distracting me.
Yeah.
But I'm still driving the same way.
Yeah, you can't have I drive more slowly.
When I drive, I'm completely focused on it like it's a video game.
So what do you don't you talk when I drive with Jesse, we are constantly talking. We
I don't talk to on the phone? No.
No, when she's with me.
Oh, when Christy's with me, yeah, I slow down. I'm not as aggressive.
Okay, so you don't respect me as much as you respect your wife. Okay, fair.
I didn't think you would care. The reason why is because it scares the shit out of her. And I have noticed that it did that to you. So yeah, maybe I'll slow down a little bit. But I can't carry on a conversation.
No, that's what I'm saying. I drive at
you do most of the talking anyway.
But I drive at a speed that allows for conversation. And I drive the same speed if I'm with myself or with someone else because I'm kind of constantly in a conversation with myself. I talk out loud to myself.
Yeah, I don't do that.
I'm thinking about the thing that I'm watching.
I enjoy driving. I have fun driving. I like it.
But it's it's
a challenge.
Just the other day we left at the same time and you waited until the very last minute and I can see, and I'm like, he is calculated. He's like, I'm going to go as far and as fast as I can. And I'm going to get over at the last minute because that'll put me in the front of this line. Not so late that you're crossing over the part where you shouldn't cross over.
Yeah, that's
wrong. That's a mistake.
That's a mistake.
So you try to get as close to the part where you're not supposed to be and right over. And I was like, he's crazy. That's what I was thinking.
But I don't cut people off. I get right up on the back of people.
You were. It was tight. It was tight. And now I'm
I'm gonna pull it back a little bit.
I was actually thinking about this the other day, not in reference to you, but there was another situation. I can't remember what made me think about this. But you ever think what would happen just in all around the world, and maybe just think about LA, if for one day, every single person was you on the road? So here's what the reason I was thinking about this is I was getting off of.
That's not how society works.
No, but but it's an interesting thought experiment because I was getting off of one highway. I was getting off a highway to get onto another highway. And in LA, which is one of the more aggressive places to drive in America, right? If there's 5, 6, 7 lanes and 2 of the lanes are about to go off to exit onto another highway, I'm just going to throw out a number. 75%, it's the majority of people get over really early. Like if you're heading down the 210 and you're about to get onto the 134.
Yeah, way too early. So many people get over. And so I think to myself, well, I'm not going to do that. It's like, but I'm not going to be the asshole who cuts in front of somebody at the end. What I do is when it gets down to the last like 0.2 miles, I get over and I'm like, there's going to be a gap somewhere that I can nicely get into. A big somebody's going to be on their phone. Something's going to happen, and 80 times out of 100, 8 out of 10, that's the case, and you get over. And then sometimes you get a little bit over your skis, and you have to do the thing where you're doing it late. What I do every time. That's what I do every time.
Yeah. I think I get in a little bit earlier than you. You take a little bit more risk than I do.
Oh yeah.
But I was thinking, if every single person on the road today was driving like me, and I don't think I want to get over, what would happen? Like, would everybody be over here in the other lanes? But no, some of us would be like, there's nobody over there. So some of me's would get over there to that lane, and would it just recreate the same problem again? Or would it really be different? Would it really be different? Like if you were everyone was you, and you were like, I'm the last person to get over, but everyone else was you.
It would not.
What would happen?
It would be negative. It would create more of a traffic jam right there because too many people were trying to get over.
Would it literally shut the city down if you could, any person, if you take one person of any driving persuasion and suddenly for that day, every single car in LA is that person, would it shut the city down? My theory is it would, because you can't have everyone behaving exactly the same way. You have to have the distribution of the way people drive.
Yeah, because
the roads are built for that.
You got to have the people to make the gaps to then insert yourself in the gap. If nobody's making a gap, then everybody's just gridlocked at the last second.
If it was all people who get over early, that would be crazy. Surely someone would be like, well, I guess I got to go out there into the place that I never go. I would love to be, if I was God, that's the kind of stuff I would do. You know what I'm saying?
There's simulations for that. You can do that. You took whole traffic classes. Didn't you do simulations?
I went to college in the late 90s. No, we just like simulated things in our minds.
Oh. I took a class called simulation, but it was factories.
I took a traffic engineering class, and we were not using any software. It was all theory.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure that it's all software now. To close things.
It's probably an app.
There is a shortcut to all of this, back to the motorcycle. And this is what I used to think. The shortcut to this is to just believe that everything is determined ahead of time. God is in control. When your time is up, your time is up. There's nothing you can do about it.
I don't think you want me believing that.
I'm just saying, this is the way out for a lot of people. Believing that is like, if God wants to take me, he'll take me while I'm sleeping, or he'll take me on my motorcycle. It's up to him. The statistics don't apply.
Okay.
That's another way around this. Just believe that.
Y'all be safe out there. That's all we're going to say. You know what? This has been a wake-up call for me today. I'm going to change my ways. Mm-hmm.
Are you embodying someone's listening?
No, I'm saying what I think everyone would hope I would be saying right now, but I'm saying it insincerely.
Okay. Don't change, man. Don't change.
I'm Lincoln. I'm going to change my ways. You're giving me something to think about.
But what specifically?
Slowing down? Or... Of course, I won't think about it when I'm driving.
The only thing I'm asking is when I'm in the car with you, I would appreciate us having a more engaged conversation, and like we can be like
I'd appreciate you just admiring my driving.
No, we can be 3 minutes later, and we'll actually have 3 more minutes to discuss like something we're working on.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I've enjoyed our time together. I could have enjoyed it more. Well, we'll talk at you next week. And thank you for your voicemails and for all your care.
Hi, Rhett and Link. This is Julia from Miami, and I've been watching you guys religiously since I was 14, and now I'm 24. And you have also gotten me through many hospital stays and hard times with my chronic illnesses, so just wanted to say thank you for all you do. My whole family loves you, and we also saw you live in Tampa in 2019. My mom also listens to your Biscuits, so if she's hearing this, hi, Mommy. Her name is Micheline, and we love bonding over you, Rhett and Link. And we love you too, Jenna, and all crew. Much love, and thank you for everything. We love you.